Welcome to our look at some of the most significant women from the archaic classical period in ancient Greece. Let's dive into their incredible stories. Are you aware of their long-term impact on history and society? Let us begin with Sappho, the renowned poet from Lesbos, known for her beautiful lyrics. Sappho's poetry delves into themes of love, beauty, and feminine relationships, cementing her legacy as a symbol of female romance. The phrases sapphic and lesbian are derived from her name and her native island of Lesbos, respectively. Her work has impacted innumerable poets throughout history and is considered a cornerstone of Western literature. The term sapphic is derived from her name and honors female love and inventiveness. Sappho, dubbed the 10th Muse by Plato, is regarded as one of the greatest lyric poets of ancient Greece. She wrote over 10,000 lines of poetry, but much of it is now destroyed, with only about 650 lines surviving in fragmentary form. She revolutionized the lyric form by writing in the first person and emphasizing personal feelings and experiences, especially love and desire. Her work popularized the Sapphic stanza, a unique metrical style that influenced contemporary poets such as Ovid and Catullus. Sappho is thought to have led a group of unmarried women who worshipped Aphrodite and possibly taught young ladies poetry, music, and dancing. Next, we have Telesilla of Argos, a well-known lyric poet and military leader. Telesilla was a well-known lyric poet, honored as one of Greece's 9 female lyric poets. Her original style, known as the Telesillian meter, distinguished her in a male-dominated literary field. But her celebrity didn't end with poetry. When Spartan king Cleomenes I assaulted Argos during the Battle of Sappeia in 494 BCE and destroyed the Argive soldiers, Telesilla rallied the women, slaves, and remaining residents to defend the city. Interestingly, Telesilla was once unwell and consulted an oracle, who encouraged her to devote her life to the Muses. This guidance changed her into a well-known poet and leader. Despite the difficulties, Telesilla's motley army battled heroically, pushing the Spartans away and winning for Argos. This act of bravery grew so legendary that it is now a cherished story in Argive culture. Moving on to Haidna of Sione, a daring diver and heroine. Her father, Silas, a certified diving instructor, had trained Haidna to be an excellent swimmer. During the Persian invasion in 480 BCE, Haidna and her father embarked on a daring operation to sabotage the Persian navy. They swam for 10 miles across dangerous waters to reach the anchored Persian ships. Armed with knives, they cut the moorings, allowing the boats to drift and clash in the wild sea. Haidna and her father were honored with statues in Delphi for their valor, which led to Greece's victory at Salamis. Interestingly, historian Pausanias reported that Haidna's activities delayed the Persian fleet, giving Greek naval forces time to prepare for war. Haidna's memory continues to spark discussions about courage and heroism. Let's talk about Gorgo, from the 5th century BCE, the Queen of Sparta, one of the few women mentioned by Herodotus in his historical works. Gorgo was King Cleomenes III's daughter and Leonidas III's wife, most known for leading the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae. She is remembered for her keen wit and insight. One of her most memorable instances occurred when she cautioned her father against accepting a bribe from Aristagoras, who wanted Spartan military assistance against Persia. Gorgo issued a warning: "If you don't throw him out, this puny foreigner will be the ruin of you." Her father took her advice and helped Sparta avoid calamity. Gorgo had more independence than most women in ancient Greece. Spartan women were educated, could own land, and even started divorces. Gorgo's standing enabled her to freely participate in political conversations. Before Leonidas went to combat, she famously implored him to be worthy of Sparta and pledged to marry a heroic man later, demonstrating her strength and loyalty. Her famous comment about Spartan women, "Because we are also the only ones who give birth to men," emphasizes women's distinct role in Spartan society. Gorgo's legacy continues to spark discussions regarding women's roles throughout history. Next, we'll look at Artemisia I of Carya, around 480 BCE, a magnificent queen and naval commander from Halicarnassus, a Greco-Carian city in the ancient district of Carya in southwestern Anatolia, and of the nearby islands of Kos, Kalymnos, and Nisyrus. Let's look at her noteworthy accomplishments and some lesser-known information. Artemisia is well recognized for her role in the Battle of Salamis in 480 BCE, when she commanded 5 ships in the Persian fleet. She was the only female commander in Xerxes, the first's army. Her strategic genius appeared during the war, when she outwitted her pursuers by sinking a Persian ship to avoid capture, exhibiting her ingenuity and tactical abilities. Despite her accomplishments, Artemisia had a bounty on her head due to her fearsome reputation. Given how much her foes dreaded her, a 10,000 drachma reward was given for her capture. She effectively utilized dual flags, hoisting Persian colors when invading and Greek colors when fleeing, to confound her adversaries and demonstrate her quick thinking on the battlefield. Artemisia's legacy as a warrior queen continues to spark discussions about women in leadership. Let's now talk about Aspasia, Pericles' excellent intellectual partner. Aspasia was noted for her bright mind and ability to engage in philosophical debates with prominent thinkers such as Socrates. Aspasia was a skilled rhetorician and educator, known for her extraordinary oratory abilities. She was credited with training notable persons like Pericles and influencing Athenian political discourse. She founded a salon, which became a gathering place for intellectuals, including philosophers like Socrates and Plato, and fostered lively discussions about politics and philosophy. Despite her efforts, Aspasia received criticism. Comedic writers such as Aristophanes frequently portrayed her poorly, reflecting society's sentiments towards women who challenged established roles. Interestingly, some academics believe she inspired the figure Diotima, who taught Socrates about love in Plato's dialogues, demonstrating her enormous impact on philosophical thought. Aspasia's legacy as an intellectual trailblazer continues to spark discussions about women's responsibilities in society. Olympias is the ambitious queen consort of Philip II and mother of Alexander the Great. Olympias was Philip II of Macedonia's wife, and she played an important part in the emergence of her son, Alexander the Great. Following Philip's killing, Olympias managed Macedonia's volatile political terrain. She was noted for her fiery personality and unwavering desire. Her most major accomplishment was to secure Alexander's position as heir. After Philip married another woman, Olympias returned to Epirus, but later plotted the killing of Philip's new wife Cleopatra and her child, establishing Alexander's throne claim. Despite her prominent position, Olympias frequently battled with Antipater, Philip's regent. Their competition demonstrated her desire to influence Macedonian politics even after Alexander's ascendancy. Following Alexander's death, she battled valiantly for her grandson's right to the throne. In 317 BCE, she led an army into Macedonia, capturing and killing opponents to secure her family's supremacy. Unfortunately, following Olympias's assassination in 316 BC, Cassander imprisoned Roxana and her son in the citadel of Amphipolis. Cassander had her and her son, Alexander IV, executed in 310 BCE, putting an end to his bloodline. Finally, we have Phryne, a well-known Hetaira for her beauty and intelligence. Phryne, born Menesseret in Thespiae around 371 BCE, rose to prominence as a result of her extraordinary beauty and intelligence. She spent the majority of her life in Athens, where she became one of the wealthiest ladies of her era. Phryne famously modeled for the artist Praxiteles, who used her as inspiration for his legendary statue, Aphrodite of Knidos, which was one of the first life-sized female nudes in Western art. Her beauty was so stunning that it became legendary. One of the most dramatic events in Phryne's life was her trial for impiety in 350 BCE, where she was accused of blasphemy. In a stunning courtroom scene in which he disclosed her attractiveness to the jurors, orator Hyperides defended her and secured her acquittal. According to mythology, Hyperides tore off her clothes, exposing her physique to persuade the judges that such beauty ought to be celebrated rather than punished. This brave deed resulted in her acquittal. Phryne's legacy continues to spark debates about beauty, art, and women's responsibilities in society. Her connections with important men allowed her to enter social circles that were previously unavailable to women. She gained even more recognition as Aphrodite in a Praxiteles statue, confirming her place as a muse and cultural icon in ancient Greece. Furthermore, her interactions with influential men frequently resulted in her being represented in their artworks, which strengthened her influence and impact on society. These women pushed societal conventions and expectations, making a lasting impact on future generations. The struggles and accomplishments of these 8 Greek heroic women from the archaic to classical periods have paved the way for future generations of women to break down barriers and make their mark on history. Despite progress, there is a significant gender leadership gap that must be addressed so that more women can sit at the table and contribute to decision-making processes. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more great historical stories.